Good morning, Remy.
Good morning, Breck.
How's it going today?
It's going. My hot water heater only puts hot water in one room, and one of my washers broke. So, New Year, same
If
hot
I
mess.
had, what's that game called? Deciding which one you would have. If you had to decide which one you wanted to happen to you, I would definitely take the hot water heater not working in one room over
Oh
the
yeah,
washer not working.
yeah. It's a good thing I have two. So there's that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Crisis diverted.
That one's like always had a problem though. It's always kind of leaked a little bit, and they were like the exact same brand new one. So I don't know.
Um, the best washing machines are. Remember, we had this whole big discussion
I
about washing
know.
machines this summer. Those old ones, the ones that cost like $500, don't buy those fancy ones, people. That's what I'm here to say.
I really want to get the ones like from the laundromat, like the speed. What is it? The Speed Queens.
Speed Queens.
I just want to get
Those
those.
aren't the Speed Queens though. They're gas, right?
Yes, and we are electric here, so I cannot.
We're electric as well. I wouldn't even know what to do with a gas washer and dryer. I'm not sure how you would even go about that.
Yes, I had technicians out for that, and then I got a plumber coming. So I can't take a shower in my own room because my room is the last one to get hot water. So
Well, talking about plumbers the other night, I think this was like the eve of Christmas Eve. So what are you gonna do? I'm laying in bed in the trailer house. We've got a master bathroom in the master bedroom. And I'm laying in bed and all of a sudden I hear this like terrible, frightening noise coming from the bathroom. And I'm like, what the F is that? So I don't even get out of bed. I just start yelling for Brandon. Brandon, come quick. Something bad is happening in here. And what was happening is that every time the washer would spin out, the water from the washer was going up through the shower, Remy. And the noise was terrifying.
so my one girlfriend, uh, they moved about a year ago, and she said kind of the same thing. She was like sleeping, and she heard this gurgling noise, and there you have a big like they have a bigger house, but it's on septic. And yeah, the everything backed up through their showers. Eh, eh,
Ugh.
eh. So
Well, Brandon, he is so handy, Remy. If you know Brandon, you know that that's not true. The only thing that he's handy on is the horse. Anyway, he fixed it. Fixed it. I'm not sure how, but
it's
it's
just it's
fixed.
your washing machine's just now flooding Dina and Scott's place. He just rerouted
Yeah,
the
yeah, he
hose.
ran it somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, it's working at the moment.
Yeah, I had one plumber out, and he like really didn't seem like he wanted my business, so I had to find another plumber.
He didn't want to take your money.
He was just like, I tell people what's going to cost. Now, mind you, he never told me what it was going to cost, right? He's like, and they just don't want to pay it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, can you tell me what it's going to cost? Because like we have a lot of sediment where we live. So we've had to drain the water heater before so it recirculates. It's fine. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not fine, but this is like, it's like emptying your septic tank. It's something we have to do every couple of years. And I was like, well, he's like, well, maybe you need a filtration system. I was like, okay, well, where can we put that? He's like, well, if they put ball valves here, I'm like, okay, can we put ball valves on? He's like, no. Like everything he would tell me, then he would tell me no, he couldn't do it. So yeah, I just am gonna get a different plumber because I was just like, okay, I don't
Can't
know.
deal with this guy who doesn't want to tell me how much
Yeah,
it's
and then
going
he
to
was
cost
like,
anymore.
I was like, well, can you check this faucet? Because like then I had him look at some other stuff. I have a faucet that leaks by the house. And he's like, yeah, if you guys just wouldn't have built the pipe this close to the house, it'd be an easy fix. And I was like, I didn't build this house. This house was built in the late 60s. Like, I'm not the one that put the pipe right next to the stucco. It wasn't, but he like acted like I did it. Like, I personally was like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck this guy. I'm gonna put this pipe right here. So,
He's going to mess with his life today.
was like, okay, all right, well, great.
How it's hard to believe the last time that we talked was right the week of Christmas, right?
Yes, and then we tried to get together for New Year's, and then the next week, and it didn't work out. So look at us. We're already breaking our resolution of trying to be here once a week.
I know, but what Remy said a couple weeks ago about us having regular jobs and having to pay the bills, folks, it is true story on that, and it is tough. For me, it becomes an issue now of the homeschool thing and timing with having to do all of the stuff outside and get back inside to do the homeschool thing with Bronson, which is an epic fail right now. Um, it is so hard, Remy. And it is so hard because he is a strong willed little child. And for the life of me, I can't get him to do it without me at all.
Yeah, when Brayden tells me he wants to homeschool, I was like, do you want me all day as your teacher? Because I don't think you do.
I know. Well, and for people like you and I, we are probably not built to sit and do that because when I go outside between 6:30 and 7 o'clock every morning, and when I get out there, I usually don't come back in until after we're done shoring. But now I have to because we are behind because this child of mine will not do it on his own, and that is tough for me. But I've also learned a lot about him because he can't, I don't know how he was getting through school because we can't sit there for longer than, um, like a 2 hour period. And in that 2 hour period, he's bouncing around, like getting food, doing different things. But he's attentive, but you can tell after that 2 hour period that it is just, we're done for a while. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's no more attention. He's not focused at all. Inside that 2 hour period, though, he's focused. He knows. Um, it has been such a struggle, and I don't know what to do. I've actually been trying to get him enrolled in school, which I said I would not do. That's how bad it's been, Remy.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what to tell you because it's also not like you're in it. I mean, not that you're like really far out of town, but you're not close enough into town to have like a tutor come all the time.
no, last year I had a really good tutor. The
You had
problem is
somebody, yeah,
finding one, finding that person that he works with. Now, my husband's aunts are here for the next 3 months, and the one used to do childcare, so she can teach and stuff. But there's absolutely no way that he's going to allow that. Um, he needs somebody outside of his circle to help him if we were to find somebody, is what I'm saying.
yeah.
And now I'm going to get my ass ripped today by the school. So I'm preparing myself for that. I got to
Yeah,
take it. I'm the one who did this.
I had the boys were like, I don't want to go back to school after Christmas break because they just went back this week. Um, I'm like, you have to go back to school. I'm like, why? I was like, well, you can go work in the mines. And they're like, there's no mines in America. Like, there are mines. And apparently, this is a gap in your education. It's like,
Yeah.
there are mines. If you don't have an education, then you just have to work really hard. If you don't want to work hard, then maybe go to school. So I was like, and until you're getting straight A's, then we don't get to miss other things.
I need
And
it for my sanity. That is why you're going back.
so that was also my one girlfriend texted me like on Sunday. She texted me like this little emoji, right? The hands up emoji. She's like, I have a question. Do the kids have school tomorrow? I was like, yeah, I think they have school tomorrow. And she's like,
She's doing
well,
the cheering one.
no, just like the hands up, like I have a question, right? She's like,
Yeah.
do I have a And I go, yeah, I think so. Why? And she's like, because Hemet School District doesn't have school tomorrow. I was like, no, I was like, I don't care. I'm going to drop my kids off at school no matter what. Like, I'm done. I need them to go back to school. Even if there's no one there, I'm just going
Mine's
to leave
going
them.
back.
For
That
sure
is
they're going
funny.
back. I don't know if there's a school to go back to, but they're going back.
Well, so back to Christmas. Christmas was good. It
Christmas was
seems like
really
such a
good.
long time ago.
I know. Christmas was really good. We did tacos and tamales with everyone on Christmas Eve. My dad and my stepmom and my stepbrother and his wife and little boy came this year. So that was fun. And like we've talked about on here, so tacos and tamales is like super laid back, paper plates, like it's literally street tacos
All the
and
greatest things.
yeah, it's great. And so my and like I'm pretty laid back as a person. So my stepbrother's wife was like talking to my stepmom before they came up here. And she's super laid back too, but she's like, do I need to wear like a dress? Like, is it supposed to be fancy up there? And
Don't wear a dress.
she's like, it's Remy. No, you can wear whatever you want to wear. She's like, she's like, I didn't know. And I was like, no, I was like, I was like, it's a standing invitation. You can come any year. I was like, but this is what it is. And then
That's funny.
we were so full still from Christmas Eve. And then I made a big Christmas breakfast and I was supposed to do like tri-tip and turkey on Christmas Day, and we didn't do any of
No.
that. We ate more tamales.
You know, we I feel like we always talk about it um every year around the holidays, but for years, and it does seem like a lifetime ago. We did it when I was little, but then as a married woman with little kids, we did it running around to all of the holidays, trying to make the holidays perfect um, on all levels. Not for me, but the ones surrounding me on the food, the food and the presents, um, all the times, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And in the end, usually somebody was mad, upset, pissed off. It was always fine. Um, but anyway, Micah, my stall girl, she just texted me, so I got a little. Um, Now we just do here because we can't leave. And my mother-in-law gave us this game, Can Jam, for Christmas. It's so fun. It's a frisbee game. Um, we literally played that for hours on end and just had a good time with each other. And we made steak on the grill, nothing fancy. It was awesome. The food was great. What I'm trying to say is sometimes I think that you lose. This is one of my favorite Christmases because we were all here, like our friends, family, my immediate family. It sucked that I didn't get to see any of my extended family, but we had a really good time because there was no expectations, Remy.
No, and I think that's like so. I grew up. I grew up with like the giant Christmas Eve dinner, right? Like the full spread with like the table done really well, and then Christmas dinner was the same way. And they rotated between who did Christmas Eve, and we did Christmas morning at our house, and we usually did Christmas dinner at our house. And then as I got older, and my parents split up when we were splitting up Christmases. And then James and I got married, so then we were splitting Christmases again. And then his parents got divorced, so now we've got 4 sets of Christmases we're supposed to be at, and none of them are our Christmas, right? They're everyone else's Christmas. And and there was still like the big spreads, and with where you like see the pictures of it, right? Like with the red candles and the poinsettias on the table and the runners and like 15 different types of food. And like I said, we do tacos and tamales. Our friends come over. We had the barbecue, we had James cooked the meat on the Blackstone. I smoked al pastor on the Traeger. And then we had our like bonfire going. And I had like my mom for Christmas 2 years ago gave me things like the patio heaters, like the tall silver
Yeah,
things. So we put those together. Thanks, Jose and Christian and Chris. We put those together on Christmas Eve. So we had those. We all ate outside, even though it was pretty cold. But we were all warm from the fire and the patio heaters. But it was
Yeah,
great.
and I love that. I just I'm not going to say that I don't miss the traditional Christmases and being surrounded by our extended family, because I definitely do. What I love is that we're all in our barn clothes still. We're
So
truly
back to the
celebrating each other and in the
yeah,
reason
back
of the
to my
season.
my sister-in-law, right? She was like, she's telling me, she's like laughing at herself because she knows me, right? And I'm like, and I think I had like a decent looking like black pullover on, like nothing. I think it was like my
A
USDP.
decent looking.
It was like my USDPA producer of the year, like the 2022 producer. It's like a black half, like quarter zip. And I pulled it up and I was like, I still have my Winnie the Pooh shirt on from this morning. You're totally fine. But yeah, I Christmas got to be too much. And like if you're one of those people that loves it, good for you. I
Maybe
don't.
that is what I'm saying. Christmas got to be too much for the, yes, that is, and we
I
truly
am going
had
to have
such a great,
yeah,
what?
I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown making your Christmas perfect.
Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, I, and even like the presents, so I think that it was probably one of the social media sites that it was either TikTok or um Facebook. I think it was TikTok, and it was tons of stories or videos of asking people how much they spent per kid on Christmas presents. That is super inappropriate, A. B, it does not matter. It
No,
it does
I'm
it
gonna tell you, we didn't buy them
does not
anything
matter.
big, and we spent a lot of money to the point where it's like buying groceries when you're like, what did we buy for
Yeah,
all of
it's
that money?
ridiculous stuff, right? I agree. I remember, like, well, for instance, last year, do you remember I had like a mental breakdown in the parking lot of Cal Ranch? Remember the day that I drove to town
Yep.
all fine, but then I got there because it was a week before Christmas and we'd bought the kids nothing, and I just had a panic attack. Like, oh my God, Christmas is going to be terrible. I don't have anything. So then I went and bought a bunch of random shit that they didn't need, want, nor cared about. This year was different. I mean, I bought them things that they wanted, and we left it at that. And it was fun. We laughed a lot. Just think
Yeah.
that Christmas needs to get back to that, maybe.
Well, we bought all the boys bikes before Colton Show in Queen Creek because they wanted to ride bikes. Also, we bought them new bikes for there, and they're like, it was the same thing on Christmas morning. They're like, oh, I don't have that many. I was like, we are going snowboarding. We just bought you bikes. Like,
Yeah.
and once they opened all their stuff, they were super happy. But
And I think that that gift of an experience, like the snowboarding, that gift is more memorable than any present that you can receive.
yeah, that was a good trip. They got 24 inches of snow after we left, but it was decent when we were up there.
Back to the present thing, one last comment. I just feel like parents, people put themselves through a lot of stress trying to spend the right amount of money or get the perfect gift. And that's stressful. It's stressful. It can be hurtful because sometimes the money's just not there to buy what you want or anything. And I think that the season that we're in right now, because of the short hours of daylight, the cold weather forcing people to stay inside, this season is filled with a higher level of depression than probably any other season. And things like that at Christmas time, with the financial side of it and trying to bust your ass to make the memories or do all of the things that society tells us that we're supposed to do, it breaks a lot of people.
No, it does. And then honestly, like it's gotten to be, and it was always that way. I remember it was like first it was when we were little, it was like the Teddy Ruxpins and the Cabbage Patch Kids,
I was
right?
like, yeah,
Like you had to have the it thing, but like you just have to be grateful. It's the same thing. You have to be grateful for what you end up getting because if I would rather take what is like a cheap gift that was well thought out than an expensive one that has nothing to do with me. And
yeah,
like all of out of all the stuff my boys got, they got a checkers and chessboard set, and that's like their
they
favorite
play
thing that
for
they get.
hours.
Yeah, so, just the holidays suck, and people make it worse.
The holidays are
And
great. I mean, there's like,
but they are so stressful for so many people, and I think
oh,
that's
that's what I'm saying. I think
yeah.
that
And so
that's
it's
what
like
I was
just like
trying to
the
say.
you have to. Well, it's like you asked me what I did on New Year's. So on New Year's we were up on the mountain, right? And it's the same thing. There's a lot of people that put pressure on New Year's too. Not as much pressure as Christmas, right? But like I'm gonna go out and have fun. So um, we were up in Purgatory. They do this thing called the Torchlight Parade, which um, all the guys that work for the all like the people that work for the resort come down the mountain holding like two flares, which seems very dangerous to me. But it's this like long it's kind of like fireworks snaking down the mountain at 6 o'clock, and then they do fireworks like 6:15 to 6:30. I was in bed by 10 on New Year's. It was fantastic.
Um, I do have a super funny story. Speaking of New Year's, I've never put a lot of pressure on New Year's because you get to a certain point in your life and you're just happy if you make it past midnight. I mean, I don't know. We had a show that weekend here, and which was also fun because we like fires too, and so we had the bonfire going, and we played hours of that damn game, Can Jam, because you can play it in partners, and it's just fun, funny.
It's like with the pop up things, right? Where you have to throw the frisbees into them.
They look like little garbage cans,
Yes.
and you like the rules are a little bit like bags as far as how the points go and how you play with the partner. But the object of the game is to throw the frisbee to the other side, and your partner has to help you try to get the frisbee to hit the barrel or get into the barrel or whatever. But it's just a funny game. Anyhow, we were gifted a very expensive bottle of champagne. And the bottle was, did I tell you this, Remy?
No.
Because I'm a redneck idiot, is what I am. Okay, I mean, people who know me probably you're gonna laugh. It's not gonna be surprising. I was embarrassed. I felt terrible. So we were gifted this very expensive bottle of champagne, and it was supposed to light up. It was like a very hard bottle to find. There's not very many of them around. It was hard to source, from what I understand, and I believe all of this. Okay. So there's several of us standing there and we're looking at this bottle, trying to figure out how you light it up. When you look at the bottom of it and you read the instructions that are about that long and about that wide, and it's tiny, tiny print, Remy, my eyesight is not very good. And it was partly in French. I also don't know French. So we were trying to read it. We were looking at the pictures, trying to depict what we should do. So it said that you were supposed to pull this tab that was inserted into the bottom. That tab was connected to the label. And we would pull the tab and nothing would happen. You know, like those kids' toys, how they
Yeah.
have that tab in there and you pull the tab out and then it works.
Yeah.
Okay. So we messed around with this for quite some time, 20 minutes. And we're pulling the tab. Every time we pull the tab, this whole bottom piece that was up in the bottom of the bottle of champagne would come out, which was not supposed to happen. But we continued trying, pulling that tab, pushing the button. Finally, we just called the people who gave it to us and we're like, how did we can't figure this thing out? We're idiots. And they're like, we're going to have this I you're going to laugh at me. I don't know how to say it. Sommelier? Is that how you say it?
So you said it right, sommelier.
Sommelier is a very fancy wine expert,
Mm-hmm.
and he was going to FaceTime me so he could show me how to work the bottom of the bottle. However, we got impatient waiting for the sommelier to call us. So I decided that
Just
this
light it all on
bottle
fire.
has to be like a toy where you're supposed to cut that tab and pull it out. So we did. We cut that bottom piece tab that was connected to the label with a pocket knife, pulled it out, pushed a button, nothing worked. Like 5 minutes later, the sommelier FaceTimes me, and he's in a tuxedo, and I'm standing in front of a bonfire and a potluck table and showing him the bottom of the bottle. And I said, sir, I'm really, really sorry. I said, I might be slightly drunk and I'm a redneck. So I've got 2 strikes against me right now. And he goes, show me the bottom of the bottle. So I showed him the bottom of the bottle. And he's like, so you've pulled the tab. And at this time, I think the tab was, I don't know. He's like, you've pulled the tab. I'm like, several times. And we pushed a button, nothing works. He goes, let me see the bottom of the bottle again. So I showed it to him and he's like, where is that tab? Is it still connected to the label? And I said, oh no, we cut that with a pocket knife. And he fell to the floor, literally laughing, about peed himself. We cut the electrical to it. When we cut the tab, we cut the electrical. Everything was tuned into the label. We did not know. Now we know.
Yeah, it's yes. You know.
So
That's why we can't have nice things.
we had a lot of laughs. Brandon was really upset at me. We couldn't, the sommelier is now taking writing lessons from me because he
Perfect.
thinks that it was hilarious. He thought it was hilarious. And he's like, I want to meet these people. They can't possibly be that redneck. He's great. He's hilarious. They deal with high end people all the time. So it probably was refreshing dealing with someone as redneck as myself.
You know, the thing is, it's probably not the first phone call he's had like that, because
Actually, it was. He
I
did.
just meant a slightly inebriated question
Oh, yeah.
about
Yeah.
something.
It wasn't just me, though. It was several of us trying to figure this out, but it was really funny. So that was my experience with that.
So you didn't get your sparkling champagne, like your legitimate, literal sparkling champagne for.
Lit up one, the
Yeah.
lit up bottle. No, but we got a good story out of it. So that's all that matters, folks. There's a good story to go behind it.
Did you get your champagne opened without spilling it?
Mhm.
Look at you. See, you're not that redneck.
I think one of the kids might have done it, Remy.
Maybe. I always
They might
watch like
have.
on Below Deck, like when they have them open it with the sword, and I'm like, you're putting glass everywhere
Yeah,
and there's champagne everywhere.
that's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. Um, what else has been going on?
Nothing. Just working.
Nothing.
Just doing my life.
Let me see.
James decided to ski when we were in Colorado.
Which he usually snowboards.
He does. And I had this conversation with him that, like, hey, I grew up doing both. If you haven't grown up skiing, don't ski as an adult, right? It's not easy. Like, it's because everyone's like, oh, snowboarding hurts more. Maybe your ass hurts more. You're not going to tear an ACL. And if everything goes wrong, you can just sit down. Just sit down. You're scared, sit down. So he does pretty well. And then he's like, I'm ready to go with you guys. And I was like, perfect. So I go, I think we should go up Twilight, which is like a 2-seater chairlift. And he's like, no, I want to go up the 6-pack. I was like, but Twilight leads to Pinkerton Road and it's great. And it's like slightly downhill. There's enough speed for us on snowboards. Like there's enough space for us on snowboards to get going. But if you're new on skis, like it's like hill to a flat, hill to a flat. We'll be
Easily
good.
get down it.
And he's like, no, I want to go up the six pack. And I was like, perfect. Okay. So we go up the six pack. He's coming down and he's like, these are really fast up here. And I was like, yeah, it's a little icy on the mountain today. I was
He
like,
thought it was
so,
fast.
and so I'm telling him, I was like, hey, it's just like riding the nice cow horses, right? Like you got to use your feet independently and you got to lean on this side and you got to push on this side. He goes, Remy, why do you think you ride the fancy ones? I don't want to give up that much control. And he made it
Yeah.
back down. So he made it down. He skied well. He made it down. And then we get to the bottom. He's like, you can have a new husband because he's like, you and your kids dive off the chairlift. You look like you should be up here. He's like, if you had a nose ring and smoke some more weed, you could just live here. So he's like, I will support you from the lodge because the reason he didn't snowboard this year is he's like, it's just, he's like, I don't have fun doing it. I was like, okay, try skiing, try skiing. He tried skiing. It also was not for him. Maybe snow sports aren't for him.
I've never snowboarded. I don't like having my feet. Wouldn't want my feet locked into the same deal though. That would make me slightly claustrophobic, I feel like.
I don't
I
know.
don't like that.
It's I have to, as someone that did both, I have to think much less on a snowboard. I just get to go. I don't have to move my body very much.
I think that it's probably like what you said is like what you grew up with. I didn't grow up with snowboards. We grew up with skis.
I grew up with both. Well, I guess like we're from California, but like I grew up with both. I skied till I was like, I mean, I started snowboarding when I was like 12, but I still skied until I was like 18. I did both. But for me, again, like it's also right a personality trait. It's if you need to have control over both your feet. I don't have to. I'm good. Strap me in. I'm just gonna go.
I do. I need control over both my feet. Ooh, I'd have an
You're just like
anxiety attack up there.
it's just like nothing has because I was like, I was like, you need to think of your knees as springs. You just need to like when you need to make a hard turn and then S up the mountain. He was like, I was like, you just have to follow your skis. Like it's super easy. Just stay relaxed. And he's like, nothing shows the differences in our personalities better than this right here. He's like, I'm like sitting there talking to him like that. It's really easy. You just got to do this. He's like, you don't even care about me. I was like, I do care about you. I don't know how to explain this better to you. So, but he's
That
like,
is
next
funny.
year I'm just going to do the Arctic Cat and some adventures. So,
Snowmobile.
yeah, that's fine.
Um,
I love snowboarding. Like I love it. And so do my boys. Kyle is the same thing as James. Like he'll sleep in, and then I just got a notification from Purgatory. They got another 3 inches overnight last night. Thanks, friends. I'm a week late to it. Um, Kyle likes to sleep in and then go in the afternoon. Trent and Braden get up with me and start early. So
they like to get out there.
yeah. So that was my New Year's week, and then we came back. We had a clinic and a jackpot, and now it's almost baseball season. So you know,
I just time, um, when you're just in your 20s and you're living your life, and people always say, "Oh, time just flies." You'll start to realize that or feel it, and it is true. Like you get into your 30s, and I don't think it was like really until my 40s though that time does fly. It feels like Christmas and New Year's were such a long time away. It feels like spring and summer are going to be here before we know it. Just gone.
yeah. Well, it's like I love because like your Facebook memories always pop up. So I see like pictures of Kyle as like
I
this
love that.
little chunky baby, and I'm like, you're like a grown ass man now.
I know. I know. I love those Facebook memories. Um, like I said, I feel like this time of year, especially because of the cold and the amount of darkness that we endure. I don't know how anybody could live in Alaska because of the light situation, but
I'm like tired at like 8:30 because it's been dark for 4 hours.
OMG, last night Remy texted me. We really haven't hardly talked at all over the holidays. We talked once.
Hmm.
Um, and you texted me last night and I was already in bed and half asleep. And she said was, does tomorrow work? Because we've tried earlier this week and it just wasn't working out. And she said, does tomorrow work? How about 5:15 your time? Said sounds good. And we usually do it at 6:15 my time, 5:15 her time. And I laughed because I was thinking, I was like, I'm good with that, but she's gonna get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought like you must have had something that you had to do today, so that's why. Well, I went straight to sleep after that, Remy, and I woke up at 4:30, so I would make 5:15. And I get up and I look at my phone and I seen your text message and I just laughed, reset my alarm for 5:30 and away we went.
Yeah. My text message said, I mean 5:15 my time because my ass is not getting up at 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Um
also really cold in my house right now because I refuse to
so
turn my heater on.
I think I've discussed this on here before, and I know that I'm not the only woman who suffers with whatever I'm suffering from, but uh I turn the heat off in our house at night and I'm cold all the time. Like how I lived in the north for so long is a mystery because you can ask anybody around here. I don't take a stocking hat off. I've got this neck warmer thing I wear. I've always got 3 or 4 layers on. I'm cold all the time, especially right now because it has been cold here. But I shut the heat off at night because I can't. If I slept with the heat on, it'd be a terrible deal. It's 55 degrees when I woke up in my house this morning, Remy. I am like, it has its benefits and it has non-benefits. I'm pretty sure I lose some weight during my sleep. I think that I lose weight while I sleep because I wake up and I am a hot, sweaty mess, soaking wet. And it's not menopause. I'm soon to be
Sure.
42. I'm
Sure, it's
not
not
going
like
through menopause, Remy. I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with me? It is disgusting.
uh our house is old and the heat doesn't work great anyway, so we have like the standing heaters in the rooms. But I'm one of the person like I have a heating blanket too, so I have like the heating blanket on, but I like it being cold on my face. So, I'm the person that will turn like the heater on and then open the window when it's raining, so I want the breeze across my face. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you I know I'm
No, I
crazy when
sleep with
I go
a
to
fan on me. It's 55 degrees and I sleep with a
sleep.
fan on. I don't like to be cold, and I'm certainly not cold. When I go to bed, I've got 3 comforters on my bed. I just wake up and I am
Yeah,
just
we
a
need a bigger
freaking.
blanket on our bed. I still have our thin comforter on. So it's like a flannel sheet, a heating blanket, and then like a very thin comforter that we use all summer.
No, I've got this. Well, I have. Are you one of those people who can sleep without a flat sheet?
No,
That's disgusting.
those are sociopaths.
Yeah,
Like
you have to
I don't
have a
even
flat sheet.
understand this. Like I know this whole thing is like, oh, you don't need a flat sheet. Yes, you do,
Yes,
because
you
you
do.
don't like. Are you washing your blanket and comforter all the time? No, the fuck you're not. So that means that you're sweating onto that all the time, and you've got skin cells on that all the time. And if you had a flat sheet, you could wash it.
My God, Remy, you totally took that to the next level. I mean, I wasn't going there, but now I'm disgusted thinking about that.
I am.
God, Rose.
Think about it though. Like those people, like
I
okay,
don't
they
want to
don't
think
want
about that.
if they don't want the hassle, right? It's the hassle of a flat sheet. You think they're doing their top sheet laundry, like their comforter laundry all the time? No fucking way. No fucking way.
Well, so I sleep with the flat sheet, and then I have a comforter, like a heavy, thick comforter. And then on top of the heavy, thick comforter, I have got this Pendleton wool blanket that I got at Costco last year. If they ever come back out with those, please somebody let me know because that thing is amazing. I love that thing.
We have a
Um,
couple of the real Pendletons from Oregon, and they're like the
so
heaviest wool
awesome.
blanket ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing. So I like to cocoon up there, and sometimes I sleep in my robe, which is long and very fluffy and warm.
You
Maybe
don't get
that's
caught up
why.
in that. I would get caught up in that. I move a lot in my sleep, much to my husband's annoyance, because he'll wake up and he's like, you took all my sheets, and then the next night he's like, I have all your sheets, and I was like, you can't have it both ways. You can't blame me for taking all the sheets and then kicking all my sheets off, which is not true because I do both of those things. Because sometimes I like cuddle into the sheets, and then other times I throw them off of me.
You're an aggressive sleeper. See, I'm not. Um, it depends. I'm usually, because we're outside all day, I'm wore out from that fresh air. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're
Mhm.
just freaking exhausted from the fresh air. It's has nothing. I mean, you can work super hard, but I think that the main cause of it is just being outside, getting that fresh air, and you're just exhausted at the end of the day. So I can either sleep one of two ways, Remy. I either sleep on my right side and I'll sleep like that for 6 hours, or I sleep like a mummy. I sleep on my back like this.
I try really hard to sleep on my back. I can't. I usually sleep on my right side, which is not supposed to be good for you. You're supposed to sleep on your left side. I don't know how people do it, but I move a
I
lot.
don't
Like
either.
I move a lot, or else I get sore. So I don't know.
I don't. Oh my God, Remy, I
But
forgot
I
to tell
like
you.
I've always moved a lot. That's not like me being older. I've always been like
Jittery,
jittery, twitchy.
twitchy, twitchy. Um, I did tell you this, but I don't know how in depth I got with you on it, and I have to go pretty soon. But I judged my first sorting at our show a couple weeks ago. I took the test, got approved to be a judge, and I judged it. And let me tell you, I don't. Western Heritage is hell to judge. I will give you warnings the entire 60 seconds. I'm probably never going to call you out unless you're like, hey, that's the only way I will call you out in Western Heritage. But
The reason I do not like Western Heritage. Well, there's a lot of reasons I don't like Western Heritage. But why I don't like it particularly at big shows is it's a very subjective class to judge. So what
it
happens in
is
Pen 1
not if
compared to
you
Pen
have
2?
me. Not if you have me, Remy.
Like
There's no
there'll be a
judging.
show where, like you'll watch someone literally lope across the pen in Pen 1, and then Pen 2 someone takes and they get away with it, and then Pen 2 someone takes one lope step and they're flagged out like they're supposed to, like they're supposed to be, right? That's why I don't like it at big shows. Um yeah, it's hard to judge.
So I just like the entire time I'm like, they'd take. I'm holding my flag and they'd take off loping, and I'd be like, no loping, no loping, no loping. It was kind of funny. It is hard. Judging is hard when you have a soft heart, and regardless of what everybody might think, I am soft hearted, so it was hard for me.
Yeah, my brother is a very good judge, but like I love it because every once in a while people like get in my brother's face about something, and like he's just like, because he's easygoing, right? And he's just like, yeah, no, like,
There, yeah, I don't want to be in that level. I took all of the low classes, um, and nobody got in my face. There was no reason for. I mean, it wasn't like I don't ever want to be on Chris's level. No, I don't want to be judging that kind of a show to
yeah, to have people get upset. It takes actually a lot for me to get upset at a flagger because I'm just like,
because I would be like curled up and I'd be like, whatever you want, we'll do. That's fine. You guys want to rewrite? You want me to give you 3 head at 27 seconds? Let's do it.
yeah, like so a lot of people too, like newer people didn't realize that my brother penned for a long time, right? And so they'll be like, that wasn't roughing, and he'll be like, you didn't give the cow anywhere to go. But again, like never changes his tone of voice, right? He's like, you didn't give the cow anywhere to go. And
I like Chris too.
they're like, what? And I was like, you can see it come across her face. I'm like, yeah, he knows how to pen. But yeah,
Well,
so judging.
Rim, I better go here. My horses are calling me.
I'm gonna go get back in bed with my pajama pants on, post that picture later. I look professional in my Banana Republic sweater.
Love you for that. I know. I'm like pretty sure I've wore this 1,000 times on here, but it's so cold. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. So
I know. I just have to make sure I try not to wear the same sweater from week to week, so that
I
people
wear a
don't.
lot of the same colors. So
Yeah, so people don't be like, "Oh, I already saw that episode." No, you didn't. I dressed the
no,
same.
just wearing the same clothes. All right, Remy, have a great week. Thank you all for tuning in this week. I hope everybody had a happy holidays. Merry Christmas and a happy new year.
Yeah, you know, don't worry if you're behind on your resolutions, because apparently so are we.
I've never been good at them. All right, Rem, we'll see you next week. Until then, be brave,
Be bold.
be
Be
humble. Let's try
humble.
that again.
Yours is be bold.
What is okay?
Yours is
Be,
be bold. Mine's be brave, and then you're be humble.
thank you, Remy. Thank you.
You came up with
It's
it.
a third. I know it's a Thursday. It feels like a Monday. We've been not very consistent at this, so I'm having a hard time.
It's okay. In 2024, we're gonna get our lives together.
Or we're gonna try again next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you just do that little thumbs up?
I know it, but you did it earlier too, and it did it to you. So I don't know. Let's try this again. I don't know. That was,
Weird. All right. We'll see you next week, Remy.
bye.
Bye.